Joshua!
What grade are you in?
6th grade!
What's your favorite sport?
Football!
You did good grades?
Yeah!
Alright, man, we lit. Alright, hurry.
Come here.
Got me up, bruh!
You didn't expect this on a random school day in Cleveland. 1 minute, kids are sitting in class, half awake, thinking about lunch. Next minute, the hallway starts buzzing. Whispers turn into noise. Noise turns into chaos. And then someone says the words that change everything. Shedeur Sanders is here. And just like that, the entire building explodes with energy. This wasn't an assembly. This wasn't a scheduled pep rally. This wasn't some stiff, overplanned PR event. This was different. Because when Shedeur Sanders walked into that school, he didn't walk in like a celebrity. He walked in like he belonged there. Kids froze. Some covered their mouths. Some screamed. Some just stared in complete shock. Teachers tried and failed to calm the classrooms down. But can you blame them? To these students, this wasn't just a quarterback. This was a young black NFL star, a symbol of possibility, living proof that dreams aren't just motivational posters on a wall. And here he was, in their hallway. Now here's what makes this story powerful. He didn't rush in for 5 minutes, snap a few photos, wave, and disappear. No, he took his time. He walked classroom to classroom. He bent down to talk to kids eye to eye. He laughed with them. He listened. And not that fake smile for the camera listen. Real listen. Every single child who wanted a picture got one. Nobody was brushed off. Nobody was ignored. There were moments when cameras weren't even rolling, and he was still there, still engaged, still present. That tells you everything about his character. But it goes deeper than just a school visit. Shedeur understands something powerful. Representation matters. When a child sees someone who looks like them succeeding at the highest level, something shifts inside. A dream that once felt impossible suddenly feels reachable. And that shift, it can change the entire direction of a life. He knows that because he lived it. He grew up around greatness. He grew up understanding expectations. He grew up with pressure. But instead of letting that turn into ego, it turned into purpose. And the teachers? They were just as emotional as the students. These are educators who pour into young black kids every single day, often underfunded, often overlooked, often unappreciated. And here comes an NFL quarterback thanking them, not for show, but sincerely. He acknowledged their sacrifices. He recognized their impact. He reminded them that what they do matters. And when someone of his status says that, it hits differently. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know this isn't new behavior. This is a pattern. Let's rewind for a second. Remember when Shedeur had the opportunity to attend the ESPY Awards? That's the red carpet, Hollywood lights, the biggest names in sports and entertainment. For most athletes, that's a no-brainer. You go, you shine, you network. But while that was happening, something devastating hit Cleveland. A tragic fire and explosion tore through the Rainbow Terrace neighborhood in the Garden Valley community. Families were displaced, kids were traumatized, everything changed overnight. And Shedeur made a choice. He chose people over publicity. He chose community over cameras. He skipped the spotlight and went straight to the neighborhood. Let that sink in. When he arrived, he didn't just donate money and leave. He stayed. He walked through the area. He sat with families. He talked with parents. He played with kids who hadn't smiled in days. And something shifted. The atmosphere, heavy and dark, started to lift. Because sometimes healing doesn't start with a check. Sometimes it starts with presence, with someone important saying, "I see you." And that's what he gave them. Time, energy, attention, things money can't replace. So when you see him walk into a school and surprise students, understand something. This isn't a publicity stunt. This isn't brand management. This is who he is. He was taught to give back. He was taught to stay grounded. He was taught that greatness isn't measured in touchdowns. It's measured in impact. And that's the difference. On the field, he's confident, sharp, composed under pressure. Off the field, he's intentional. He understands that being a franchise quarterback means more than throwing passes on Sunday. It means leading a city. It means inspiring the next generation. It means showing up, especially when it's inconvenient. Think about those students for a second. Years from now, they're going to tell that story. I was there the day Shedeur Sanders came to our school. For some of them, that moment will be the spark, the reason they studied harder, the reason they believed in themselves, the reason they chased something bigger. That's legacy. Not stats, not headlines, impact. And let's be honest, not every athlete does this. Some talk about community, some post about it, some show up when cameras are guaranteed. But showing up when there's nothing to gain, that's different. That's leadership. So here's the real question. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that an NFL quarterback would spend his time this way? Or should this be the standard? Should more athletes follow this example? Because if more stars understood their influence the way Shedeur does, imagine how many neighborhoods could feel hope again. At the end of the day, true greatness isn't about how loud the crowd cheers when you throw a touchdown. It's about how quiet a classroom gets when you walk in, because kids are in complete shock that someone they admire actually showed up for them. That's powerful. That's real. And that's why Shedeur Sanders continues to prove that his biggest wins might not even happen on the football field. They're happening in hallways, in neighborhoods,